New at 6, a devastating loss for a local father, his only child killed in a car crash. 2 years later, the state suspended his driver's license, even though he wasn't involved, and he had to pay $20,000 to get that license back. This is all the result of what an attorney calls one of the harshest laws on the books.
Our Nate Mooresville learned if we're not careful, any of us could be on the hook financially for someone else's actions.
Life is all about choices.
I mean, the last thing he did in his life was a good deed for a friend. Well, that's just who he was.
Evan Beaudet's decision to pick up a friend from work and drop him off at his house before driving home himself proved fatal on the morning of November 3rd, 2020.
I guess he was tired. He fell asleep, veered off into the other lane, and had a head-on collision with another vehicle.
The 19-year-old made another choice a month before that crash, likely not realizing how it might impact his father down the road.
It had nothing to do with me, and here I am being held financially responsible for it.
Jake Twisdale wanted to help his son, so after he moved out of the house, he decided to give him a car.
Sign the title over. He just hadn't taken it to the DMV.
Not only did the title never make it to the DMV, Twisdale later learned his son briefly let the insurance lapse. Even though the driver he hit carried uninsured motorist coverage, Twisdale would pay the price.
I'd lost enough.
Twice.
I lost everything.
First, he lost his son. Then, he lost $20,000, recouped by the other driver's insurance agency to cover the man's injuries and damage to his truck.
Did you even know this was a possibility?
I had no idea.
Eventually, the state suspended Twisdale's driver's license, all because he technically still owned Evan's car.
I didn't know this was a possibility.
It all stems from the Motor Vehicle Safety and Financial Responsibility Act of 1953, a law that can result in consequences for an uninsured driver and the car's owner when there's a crash.
I would say it's one of the most severe and harsh laws that we have because people don't understand it, they don't know how it works, and the financial impact could be massive.
Attorney Ed Martin says insurance agencies have all the power in this situation, demanding as little as $500 in some cases to hundreds of thousands, depending on the severity of a crash.
To me, it's counterintuitive.
All while asking the state to hold hostage a person's ability to drive.
They can be some nasty, cutthroat people.
He says collections are common. DMV records back that up. Data show North Carolina has suspended thousands of licenses every year for what's technically considered failure to deposit security.
It's almost to the point, if there is any chance you can get behind the wheel of a car, you should have a valid policy. If your grandmother asks you to move the car out front, you need to have an insurance policy.
In Twisdale's case, the state didn't suspend his license until almost 2 years after his son's crash. And he says it followed just one attempt by the insurance agency around the year anniversary of Evan's death to collect money.
I didn't have it. I had to reset my whole life after my son died in the accident.
Twisdale says at the time, he asked North Carolina Farm Bureau for grace in light of his extreme circumstance.
The agent that I spoke to retired,
but never heard back.
A company spokesperson called the facts surrounding this case truly heartbreaking, but referenced state law which allows companies to go down this path, adding, unfortunately, these scenarios arise frequently.
Twisdale only recently realized the state suspended his license.
Oh, their legal team's a lot bigger than mine.
Reluctantly, he paid up, thanks to a loan from his dad.
Which was kind of shameful because I'm not one to ask for help a lot.
And so what started with a father choosing to help his son ended with a father choosing to help his son. Nate Mooresville, WCNC Charlotte.
An eye-opening piece there. We should also note here, South Carolina has a similar law on the books. So you might be wondering how to protect yourself from the situation. Well, first, you should regularly make sure your insurance is active. When it comes to title transfers, an insurance industry group tells us you can go to the DMV with the new car's owner to file the needed paperwork. If that's not possible, you can call the DMV and ask to verify which cars are titled in your name. There are many more tips. You can find those. Look for Nate's article at WCNC.com. You'll find that under the Money tab.